This is literally the most annoying thing ever. I always order food from this Chipotle near me, and if you order it online, like they say to order it online, pick it up 30 minutes late every single time. And then the one time I try and go in the actual store, it's that, like they say the line is closed. So what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I order the food online 30 minutes late. I go into the place, they say, sorry, the line is closed. At that point, it's like, can't even go. Like, I love Chipotle, but I don't know. Anyways, right now, crypto, the CoinMarketCap website has been having a lot of technical errors lately. You can see it says the market's up about 7.7%, but just about 2 minutes ago when I reload the page, it said about 0.9%. Right now, the market is pretty stable. So today we're going to go over a couple things. We're going to start off by going over what's going on with Mike Novogratz, what he said about Bitcoin, if he's buying, selling, what institutional investors are trending to do right now. We're also going to go over what is going on with a U.S. senator, a major move that she just made with crypto and her positions. After that, we're going to talk about Bitcoin mining, some crypto funds, a new interesting thing with Elon Musk. This isn't directly related to crypto, but it is pretty exciting in my opinion. Then after that, we're going to do some analysis on a couple of altcoins that I think have a lot of potential in 2021 and over the next 5 to 10 years. So let's just get right into it. But if you guys are just joining us, please be sure to like the stream. Helps get these out to more people, and I appreciate all of you guys joining. Read all your comments in the chat, and we'll get to those at the end. But anyways, right now, the entire crypto market is relatively stable. Bitcoin's at $33,900. Ethereum's just under $2,000 per coin. It's at $1,900. Binance Coin's at $300. Cardano's at $1.35. And Dogecoin is at 23 cents. So over the last 24, 48 hours, since we saw the bit of a market crash, a lot of people were able to get in at great prices. Like we talked about Cardano the other day. We talked about, getting in around that $1 per coin range. But either way, though, the market has recovered very nicely, and we are seeing a very strong support for Bitcoin at that $32,000 per coin range. We did see it drop below 30,000. We all saw that. Went down to about $29,000 per coin. But what this shows is that we have a lot of institutional demand. As soon as we touch that $20,000 per coin range, anything in that $20,000, people are scooping up Bitcoin like crazy. Doesn't matter if you're institutions, retail investors, people see that as a massive opportunity. So right now, Mike Novogratz, he came out the other day. Mike Novogratz came out and said how institutional investors are seeing Bitcoin's price decline recently as a major opportunity to buy Bitcoin. Because what he said is a lot of people right now are very upset about missing out on Bitcoin 6 months ago, 12 months ago, 2 years ago. People are upset that they missed out on those opportunities because when you start to look back at the prices for Bitcoin, Ethereum, you see that Ethereum was at $200 per coin less than a year ago. You see that Bitcoin about a year ago was in that $10,000, $12,000 per coin range at some point in 2020. So people are we're upset about that. So what he explained is that a lot of investors are seeing the recent price decline as a massive buying opportunity. He says, you know what? We fell below $30,000. We don't know if this is going to be like we have seen a correction, or if we're going to see it bounce back and just stabilize between $30,000 and $40,000, or if we're going to see it drop a little bit further. My opinion, looks like we're in that $30,000 to $40,000 per coin range, and we're just going to fluctuate and consolidate there as we have been doing. But he said, look, with China being a lot more forceful in their idea to ban crypto, they're really stepping it up and telling banks that if you see any crypto-related activities, you have to flag them, ban them from sending money to crypto exchanges, ban them to sending money to anything related to crypto. Since China is stepping up their efforts with that, well, it has made a lot of fear in the market. A lot of liquidations have been going on, and it's like not possible to call a bottom with what has been going on recently. We could see it drop again. I don't think that's the case, but he said, you know what? It definitely is possible. In addition to this, we saw David Marcus, who is the head of Facebook Financial. He came out and said that a crackdown on Bitcoin is great for the development for Bitcoin. It's going to get a lot of Bitcoin miners out of China. But essentially, the important thing with what Mike Novogratz, what David Marcus, what a lot of billionaire investors in the tech world, in the crypto world are saying is, look, right now, crypto, the entire ecosystem is a lot more mature than it was 2-3 years ago. The amount of players in the market is dramatically higher. Institutions are finally in. A lot of retail investors are in that weren't in the last time. So right now, having Bitcoin or Ethereum or any crypto in a portfolio is much more common, and for that reason, people who didn't buy the first time are seeing it as a massive opportunity to get in now at some much cheaper prices than we saw, let's say, in April or in March of this year. So in his opinion, he says that now a lot of the clients, a lot of people that he has spoken to are seeing that this is a great opportunity to get involved, whether they were already involved, whether they weren't involved. It's a great opportunity. For example, we saw the other day that MicroStrategy bought another $500 million of Bitcoin. We saw that Cathie Wood and ARK Invest bought another $30 million of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. We have seen that Goldman Sachs has gotten involved with crypto trading within the last week or so. So all within the last week, we have seen some major moves from big institutional players, and that's something exciting to see with crypto. One thing that is pretty interesting is what is going on with a U.S. senator, because everyone always says, you know what's going on in the government? People have called out government officials before for investing in certain stocks when they know there's going to be regulations put in place that might benefit those stocks. So everyone likes to follow what are these U.S. senators specifically buying, because a lot of times laws they pass, regulations they put into place are going to positively or negatively affect specific investments, whether they're stocks or crypto. And one U.S. senator, Senator Cynthia Lummis, she came out just within the last 24 hours and talked about Bitcoin. She said she's very excited about Bitcoin's price falling recently, and she has planned to buy the dip. She has been a Bitcoin bull for a while. She's come out and spoken about it a few times, but so she's a senator from Wyoming, and during a recent interview on Fox Business, she said that she's really excited about Bitcoin's price dropping to 30,000 and quickly below 30,000, because as soon as it started to drop, she bought more, and she has said that she, in the past, buys a lot of things when you see massive drop-off. She said United Rentals was her favorite stock. It dropped like a rock. She bought it and then held on to it for the last couple of years. It's performed beautifully. And she said now with Bitcoin, she's doing the same thing because ultimately, long-term, she says the fundamentals are good with Bitcoin. The technology behind it is something that is revolutionary, innovative, and it's going to be something that dictates the world years to come. It's going to be like the internet when the internet was first started. So she said, ultimately, with regulations and her role in Bitcoin, like, is the government going to put more regulations into place? She said that she does want some kind of regulation for Bitcoin. She said that she wants it to be a level playing field. She doesn't want institutions to be able to manipulate the market. She doesn't want big players and whale accounts to be able to, make money from just dumping their position, getting back in. So she said that rules should be simple and it should be easy to understand for digital assets and crypto. And she doesn't want them overly restrictive because there needs to still be a lot of innovation in the crypto space. And what happens is if you try and put a lot of rules and a lot of regulations onto something that's just growing, still in its early phases, you're going to restrict growth. And that's not what she wants to do. Other senators might want to do that, but ultimately she said she's trying to promote growth with blockchain technology, with decentralized finance, with smart contracts, with NFTs. Her idea is that we need to promote growth in those areas, and we can't have that if there's too many regulations in place. So we'll see what happens here, but it is very interesting to see that she says she is, she loves how innovative Bitcoin is with its decentralized public ledger, fixed supply. She loves Ethereum with its decentralized finance applications and with smart contracts. And she said ultimately that she is someone who is very bullish on Bitcoin. She has bought a lot recently. And even though some people, like the author from Rich Dad Poor Dad, said that he was waiting for Bitcoin's price to drop below 24,000. Many people don't think that's ever going to happen. Me personally, I don't think we're going to see it drop that low unless we see a market crash, because after we saw the other day, we have seen that Bitcoin's price has a lot of support in that 20,000, like $28,000, $29,000 range, because as soon as we dropped there, we had so much fear. Everything was bad news coming out from China. Everything was bad coming out from between Bitcoin miners to crypto trading. There was nothing good in that 24-hour period. Yet we still saw that as soon as we dropped into that high $20,000 range, there was so much demand for Bitcoin that we immediately shot up from 28, 29,000 all the way back up to 34,000 in a matter of just a couple of hours. So in my opinion, it's like, look, are we going to reach below 24,000? It's possible, but what the last couple of days have shown us is that there is way more money in crypto than we have ever seen before. There is so much so many institutions that are involved that previously weren't involved. And next up, let's talk about what is going on with the next topic, which is going to be Bitcoin mining and what is going on in China. So right now, Bitcoin mining in China has been getting a lot of attention lately after China's cracked down on Bitcoin mining. They've banned it from Inner Mongolia a couple months ago. They've started to crack down on Bitcoin mining elsewhere. And right now, they say that Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin mining being banned in China could actually be very beneficial for Bitcoin miners all across the world and can make it a whole lot easier for Bitcoin miners to make a lot of money. And this is interesting because what we know is that with Bitcoin mining right now, more than 90% of China's Bitcoin mining capacity has been estimated to have been shut down, banned by the Chinese government, 90% of it. And the important thing here is that 65 to 75% of the entire, of all Bitcoin mining takes place in China. So since we see a majority of Bitcoin mining having taken place in China, almost 3/4 of it, now with almost all of it shut down, it leaves the door wide open for Bitcoin mining companies that are based in the US, in Canada, in Europe, other countries around the world. It leaves the door wide open for them to be much more profitable and make Bitcoin mining a lot easier. So right now, when you look at Bitcoin mining, the one and most important thing is, first of all, you have to see how much energy costs. Because if energy where you are costs a lot, well, you're not going to make as much money. But the other thing you got to look at is the total hash rate, or the processing power of the Bitcoin network. And what we're seeing is that this has appeared to drop significantly over the last couple of weeks. In the last month or so, Bitcoin's hash rate has gone from a record 180.7 million terahashes per second, which was really a number we had never seen before, all the way down to 116 million just as of the last 24 hours. And what this means is that as more Bitcoin miners continue to go offline, as more Bitcoin miners are shut down in China, well, it's going to make it a lot easier for Bitcoin to be mined. The difficulty is going to be adjusted downwards, and the people who are continuing to mine Bitcoin are going to be able to mine more Bitcoin and get rewarded more for doing the same amount of work. That's essentially how you could think of it. That the hash rate goes down, you could do the same amount of work, same machines, but you make more money. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. Bitcoin mining, though, we are seeing that more and more companies are continuing to look elsewhere. We're seeing people look towards the US, people look towards specifically Texas and Florida because of cheaper energy costs. Texas has wind energy, Florida has nuclear energy power, especially like the Miami mayor has come out and said, come to Miami because we have a lot to offer in terms of crypto mining and energy consumption. But so we are seeing them already start to look elsewhere. Other story with that is that we did see El Salvador. El Salvador made Bitcoin legal tender, and after they said that, they also came out and said how they want to be like a Bitcoin mining hub. They're going to use the volcano and volcanoes to power Bitcoin, and they've actually been progressing significantly with this plan. You can see right here, El Salvador progresses with volcano-powered Bitcoin mining plan. Essentially, what the president of El Salvador said is that they already are starting to build facilities, plan them out, and in a tweet just the other day, he gave a hint of what the proposed volcano-powered Bitcoin mining would look like. He said that El Salvador continues to progress towards clean volcano-powered hash rate, and this is a sneak peek of their plan. We could take a look at this. So this is a sneak peek of their plan. It looks pretty pretty remarkable, but you got to remember that El Salvador isn't one of the richest countries in the world, and these obviously these designs look very exciting, but who knows how long this could take to actually get this done, get this rolled out, and start actually having volcanoes power Bitcoin. But either way, it is an interesting plan because anyone who is in the Bitcoin and crypto world is looking for more energy efficient ways to mine Bitcoin. So whether that's going to be with volcanoes, whether that's going to be with nuclear energy, whether that's going to be with solar or wind energy in Texas, everyone all across the world is looking for more efficient ways. The best places to mine Bitcoin, and with China banning Bitcoin mining, it has opened the door up for so many more opportunities in the space for innovation. And in my opinion, I think that's going to be a really good thing. I think it's really going to be good. But if you guys are just joining us, please be sure to like the video, subscribe. What's up, Christian? What's up, Yankee Doodle? And Johan Kim, I appreciate you guys commenting. If you can, let's see if we can get this up to 100 likes. YouTube, if you guys are just joining me for the first time, I had done a video in the past on Elon Musk and Dogecoin, and ever since I did that video, well, they don't send out notifications. My videos don't get recommended. So the only way we can get more people on the stream is by you guys liking. I read all your comments. I appreciate all of your support. Also, comment down below what is your favorite crypto, and I'll talk about that at the end. We'll go over everything, any crypto that you guys comment. I will try and give you my educated opinion on. If I don't know enough about it, I'll do research and we'll talk about it next live stream. Moving on, next topic on our list is going to be with crypto fund. This was the big news of the last 24 hours. This is really what has been all over CoinDesk, what has been all over CNBC, what's been all over news.bitcoin.com, and that's what's going on with Andreessen Horowitz and his new crypto fund. This is his third crypto venture capitalist fund, VC fund, and they raised about $2.2 billion, which are going to allow them to find the next generation of visionary crypto founders and invest in the most exciting areas of crypto. They said they invest in all areas, all stages, from seed rounds, very small projects, it could be $50,000 investments, to fully developed later stage networks where they invest hundreds of millions of dollars. And this is exciting. This is really exciting in my opinion, because what it shows is that right now, the entire crypto world is still, it's not only the future of finance, but as with the internet in its early days, and during the internet bubble, when we saw everything, a lot of innovation start to take place, is that right now crypto is really going to transform all of our lives, all aspects of our lives, whether we're talking about smart contracts and DeFi, or whether we're talking about Bitcoin and what the capabilities of Bitcoin are, either and paying with digital currencies. Either way, though, what we're seeing is that these crypto focused funds, the first of them was launched 3 years ago during 2017 when crypto had dropped 80%. Since then, they invested $500-600 million during that first fund, and now they believe that the next wave of computing innovation will drive crypto, and they're radically optimistic about crypto's potential despite everything going on recently. The one thing that I am most excited about right now for crypto, with all of these new funds that are coming out, is that, for example, yesterday in our live stream, we spoke about what was going on with Bank of Israel and their central bank and central bank digital currencies and their testing out of Ethereum. I know we spoke about this the other day, but this is something that I am so excited about because it shows that, look, all of these crypto funds are trying to invest in new projects, the upcoming, try and get in on the ground floor of some of the biggest crypto projects. They got in Coinbase back in 2013, this fund from Andreessen Horowitz. They got into some other major projects back in 2015 when they were first started. But the exciting thing with crypto, in my opinion, is really all summarized with what happened with Bank of Israel and Bank of Israel and their central bank. Because the other day, the Bank of Israel completed its pilot experimental program where they were testing out Ethereum and the architecture behind Ethereum. So they were testing out DeFi, smart contracts, and NFTs. And the Bank of Israel, I know you might have already heard this, but it's very exciting because the Bank of Israel successfully tested its ability to program a car ownership certificate, transfer it using NFTs, and all of this was made possible with the smart contract. So essentially what they did is they had someone buy another car, program a smart contract, so as soon as the funds were transferred, the ownership and the title of the car was automatically sent to someone else. And in my opinion, this is just a perfect use case for crypto. This is exactly what people are trying to do in the crypto world moving forward. And this is something that is very exciting to me because it shows everyone's always talking about, oh, crypto is great. It has all these use cases. And I'm so on board with that. But the thing that people don't talk about is how crypto, what they're actually doing right now. People say this is what it can do. This is what they're planning on doing. This is what the project's goal is. So every time I see something where it's like, a government around the world, a company is actually implementing it and taking full advantage of all of the functionalities of Ethereum or Bitcoin. It's something that's really exciting to me because right now with Ethereum, we have seen it, be fully tested out basically with the Bank of Israel. They tested out NFTs, smart contracts, and how that can be used in a real world scenario. We have seen Cardano be used with Ethiopia and the Ethiopian Education Council to give all students a blockchain based ID. So every time we see a story like that, where it's a real world scenario, something actually being used and implemented into like daily life, that's something that for me is very exciting because it's like, look, they're not just ideas. They are some things that can actually work. And for people who doubt Bitcoin and doubt crypto, it shows that there's no reason to doubt it because we're seeing these things actually function and work how they're supposed to, how they were programmed to, and how people expect them to work in the future. Next up, a story with Elon Musk. So Elon Musk came out the other day, spoke specifically about Starlink. And this isn't directly related to crypto, but there is a couple of exciting things here, tech news wise, which are important to go over. So, and I want to talk to you guys about, let me know what you think. But right now, Elon Musk, he said that Starlink will be going public when its cash flow is more predictable. In a tweet just yesterday, or 2 days ago, he said that it'll be at least a few years before Starlink revenue is reasonably predictable. Going public sooner, that would be very, very painful. He'll do his best to give long-term Tesla shareholders preference, but we can expect Starlink to go public within the next couple of years. And this is pretty exciting because we had seen SpaceX president Gwynne Shotwell say last year that Starlink could be spun off from SpaceX, separated, and go public entirely. Right now we're seeing that Tesla is Elon Musk's only publicly traded company. SpaceX is not publicly traded. Starlink is not publicly traded. Boring Company, Neuralink, they're all not publicly traded. Only Tesla. A lot of people say that Elon Musk and Tesla's market cap has a lot to do with what's going on with SpaceX and Starlink because uneducated investors just assume that everything is combined, but they're not combined. So ultimately, this is exciting because, first of all, we may see Elon Musk's net worth jump dramatically when this happens because Starlink, according to what they've said in recent studies, is that Starlink could make up about $30 billion in revenue by just providing broadband. They're already very close. They already have test programs in place. They said they've successfully deployed already 1,800 satellites around the globe. Their goal is to get that to 12,000 satellites at some point in the future within the next couple of years. But with 1,800, they say they can already have global coverage. It's just going to be a couple of months for them to iron out regulations, talk with certain governments, and figure all of that out. But once that is figured out with the regulatory side, they will have a full Starlink internet service rolled out across the world within September of this year. That should be the time frame. They said right now they have trial services in 11 countries, but I found this pretty interesting that they are already looking at separating Starlink from SpaceX. Surprising because a lot of people thought that SpaceX was going to go public by itself at some point, but he said no. You know what? We might just divide that up even more. SpaceX and Starlink do very different business. We should separate them even more. But that's really the main stories for today's episode. Let's talk quickly about what's going on with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and do a couple of altcoins. And if you guys are just joining us, thank you, Thomas. What is up, Max? Lee Kenna, what is up? If you guys are just joining us, please be sure to like the video. Let's see if we can get this up to 100 likes. It helps me out a lot, helps us do more of these live streams. And put any questions you guys have or anything you want to talk about in the chat, and we'll go over that for the next couple of minutes before we talk about one or two more things. But right now, let's take a look. Has the charts been updated on CoinMarketCap? Yes, here we go. Okay, CoinMarketCap is working better now. Market cap for the last 24 hours up 0.9%, relatively stable. It's interesting to see that we are seeing Bitcoin's price bounce back faster than a lot of other coins, because right now we had seen typically when the market crashes, we see that Bitcoin's price doesn't bounce back as quickly. We see that Bitcoin moves a lot slower. But it's interesting because right before the market had a bit of a flash crash, Ethereum was at 2,400, 2,500, right around that range. And we had not seen Ethereum hold below 2,000. We only saw Ethereum go below 2,000 when the market crashed. So it's interesting to see that now Bitcoin's price has bounced right back to where we were. Yet Ethereum, when we're looking at the chart for Ethereum, Ethereum's price is still significantly lower than we were just a couple of days ago before the market had its bit of flash crash. You can see right here, when we look at the chart, we have a support at about $1,950 for Ethereum. But just 2 days ago, we were at that 2,400, like just about within the last week or so, we were at 2,400, 2,500. So it's interesting that now we're seeing Bitcoin bounce back further. And what this is a signal to me is that right now, people aren't as bullish on crypto at the very moment. Like, yes, people love it and are bullish on it long term. But what this shows me is, look, people are still a little hesitant about crypto after that regulation and all of the restrictions and bans put in place in China. So they're a little more hesitant to get back into some of these smaller altcoins. For example, Ethereum is still well below where it was at a couple of days ago. It's under 2,000. Dogecoin still well below where it was at. Cardano well below where it was at. So when we're looking across the board at all of these different cryptos, what we're seeing is that most of them are much lower than they were a week or 2 weeks ago. And in my opinion, that shows that there's still a lot of fear out there in the market. Even though we have seen the prices rebound, there's still a lot of fear in the market because of China and their ban on crypto. So for those of you who aren't familiar with what happened with China, why it's important is because right now with China currently makes up a big portion of crypto investors. If we look at this chart I've referenced a couple of times, it's not the most accurate because there's no way to accurately track exactly who's invested in crypto, how much they've invested. When we're looking at this, it says Americans have earned over $4 billion in Bitcoin in 2020. Last year, which is more than 3 times as much as investors in any other country. It was done by a study from Bloomberg and or Chainalysis, Market Intel, and that was published just a couple of days ago on June 7th. A couple weeks ago. But they said, look, here are the top 25 countries in realized gains for Bitcoin. We see that United States had $4 billion in realized gains. China had $1.15 billion. Japan had $0.93 billion. United Kingdom had $0.83. So the significance of this is that, first of all, there's no way to 100% accurately detect how much has been made for Bitcoin in each country. It's really impossible because people could have money in cold storage, people could have money in digital wallets, people could transfer their money to different currencies and then put their money into crypto. So it's very difficult to track. But when I look at this analysis from Chainalysis, I say, look, what's probably accurate, there's no way of knowing, but I would assume the rankings are relatively accurate. Like, United States is probably the highest in terms of realized gains for Bitcoin. China's probably number 2. Japan's probably number 3. United Kingdom's probably number 4. Like, those rankings seem consistent with all data we have seen that has ever been reported in terms of Bitcoin gains, and what's going on there. So, in my opinion, when we're seeing this, it's like, why are people worried about what's going on in China? Well, China has about China has about 1.2, 1.3 billion people, over a billion people, the population. So what's important is that with China putting these regulations into place for crypto, for Bitcoin mining, what we're seeing is that it's restricting that massive portion of the world's population, is that entire population from investing in crypto. One interesting thing is that many people in the crypto world, billionaire investors, hedge funds, they come out and say that, look, China is regulating crypto. They are banning Bitcoin mining. They are preventing, regular consumers from buying and selling crypto. But he says that many people say that China is actually fully committed to digital currencies and the blockchain technology, but the problem is they only want to be able to have something that they can outright fully control. And that's what we've talked about a lot recently. The reason why now is the time that China is deciding to crack down on Bitcoin mining, on crypto in general, is even though in the past, in 2017, in 2013, in 2011, even though all of those years, they implemented bans on crypto. They either banned crypto exchanges, they banned people from buying crypto, even though they had done that all in the past. The important thing is now is the time that China has finally gotten their digital yuan rolled out. They have it rolled out in a number of cities. They have over 3,000 ATMs where you can use the digital yuan. They also have a pilot program going on in multiple cities with it, and that's the difference now. Years past, they had not had their own central bank digital currency operational, rolled out, and already being tested and used by millions of people in their country. So now that they have it, it changes the situation, because previously it was like crypto was a threat, but they didn't have anything to compete against it. Now the situation is, look, they have something that competes directly with cryptocurrencies when you're looking at it in terms of transactions. So now the problem is they have something that competes directly with Bitcoin. So that's why they're finally stepping in and regulating it even more than they had in the past, because they're saying, look, our central bank digital currency, the digital yuan, is competing directly with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and any digital currency that wants to be used for transactions. So as a result of this, we're going to ban anything that can potentially hurt the digital yuan and our control over the currency going on. So here we go. Right here, we're seeing that Andreessen Horowitz. He's the person who started the $2.2 billion crypto fund that we spoke about earlier. He came out and said that what he believes is that China right now is actually all in on crypto. Make no mistake about that. Despite their latest crackdown on Bitcoin mining and crypto services, they're all in on the technology. That's why they are the first country in the world to have rolled out their own central bank digital currency. And he explained how right now he does think that China is going all in on crypto in a big way. It's like a big opening for Western societies in the US to lean in on crypto and the technology, because we're already seeing that China is testing out Bitcoin. They're testing out crypto and blockchain technology with their digital yuan at the 2022 Winter Olympics Games. They've talked about this multiple times. They have right now something called the Red Ticket Lottery, where they're sending out over $9 million to random people in China in the digital yuan. And they're saying, look, here's money. Go and spend it. You could spend it at JD.com, at Starbucks, anywhere that accepts the digital yuan. You could go ahead and spend it. So it's just, they are going big on the technology. They just want to make sure they can control it. So it's obvious. We have seen this so many times in the past. This is something that is not anything that is new or surprising, but that is why we're seeing a lot of fear in the market. Jim Cramer has come out and said, look, if China doesn't want something to happen, I'm not betting against them. I'm not going to bet against crypto. I'm not going to bet against, he said that I'm selling crypto and my Bitcoin because if China doesn't want crypto to succeed, in China, there is no way it's going to succeed. It can succeed elsewhere, but if China doesn't want something to happen in their country, it's not going to work because they have control over everything, whether we're talking about government organizations, whether we're talking about major companies. It doesn't matter how big your company is. If the Chinese government doesn't want something to happen, well, it's just not going to happen. Other countries that have been talking about Bitcoin and regulations is actually the Norwegian financial regulators. They've been cautioning about what is going on with Bitcoin and investing in crypto, as the price has been very volatile over the last couple of days. So Norway's financial regulators, they have warned, come out in recent interviews, come out in recent reports, they've warned a lot about crypto risks. They said there's a strong need for legal framework and investor protection if cryptocurrency is going to be able to be a suitable form of investment for consumers for years to come. We have seen some people in Europe come out and say that crypto needs to be banned entirely. Other people have come out and said, look, it doesn't need to be banned entirely, but there needs to be regulations in place. So right now, a couple of Norway's financial regulators have come out and said, they posted a notice on their website just the other day that there are a lot of risks to investing in Bitcoin and crypto. In the report, the warning was specifically released when Bitcoin's price dropped below $30,000 on the one day that we saw everyone freaking out. And the report explains how cryptocurrency has received the attention that very few other investment options have. The technology is new, exciting, and a lot of high-profile investors and celebrities have bought in, and influencers are marketing them on social media. However, most cryptocurrencies are subject to extreme price fluctuations. The risk of loss is high. The market has also attracted significant criminal activity. Spammers use spam, computer viruses, fake drawings, a variety of other techniques to deceive consumers. They go on to explain how there is a strong need for a legal framework and investor protection if cryptocurrency is to be able to become a suitable form of investment for consumers. And until such regulations are in place, anyone considering trading crypto should think carefully and understand the significant risk that such investments entail. Consumers who want to try this with open eyes should not invest more than they can afford to lose. Okay, that was a mouthful. But what we're seeing is all countries across the world, established countries, they are the ones who are not as excited about crypto. Like El Salvador, Honduras, Tanzania, these places have talked about crypto in a very positive light. And they have talked about, like El Salvador, they've made Bitcoin legal tender already. Honduras has been talking about it. Tanzania has been talking about it. But countries that are already more established, let's say like Norway, like the US, like say the UK and Europe, places in Europe, they are talking about crypto as more of a hesitant tone. They are like, look, there's a lot of risks to this because it's not regulated. Their main concern every single time, like El Salvador, all for Bitcoin. They say it could promote growth. It could help the country. Honduras has talked about the same way. Tanzania, like I said, they're all excited about it. And the reason why all the big countries are not excited about it is for a couple of things. The first reason why big countries, let's say like the US, Norway, established countries that are established economically, are what is going on with what they're worried about is, the main worry is regulation, and the other worry is it potentially taking over their own central bank currency. So those are two, and then the third one is like illicit activities, illegal and criminal activities. But the two main things are really, all big countries seem to be, every single time the crypto conversation comes up, the main thing they get concerned about and worried about is this. They say, look, we don't want people to buy and sell crypto whenever they want, and we maybe should put some regulations in place because we can't control it. The price can drop 50% in a matter of an hour if everyone decides to sell. And they don't like that. Like, they say they're trying to protect people, but a lot of people, on the other hand, they think that the government just doesn't like it because they can't regulate it and they don't have control over it, and the government wants to have control over everything. I think there's aspects to both. They want to make sure people don't lose all of their money, but they also want to have a hand in it and be able to regulate it, because what we've seen with like the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange, they have all of these systems in place to prevent the market from crashing, going down 50-60% in a matter of a day. They have halts in trading that are implemented, and what the last couple of months have shown us, especially with short squeeze stocks with GameStop and AMC, what those have shown us is that regulators don't like that. Regulators don't like when stocks go up 100, 200% in a matter of a couple of days. They don't like when cryptos do that. They don't like when any investment does that, because that doesn't follow the normal path of investments, what it should typically be. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here, but Norwegian financial regulators are talking a little bit more about crypto, the market in general, potentially putting more regulations in place on it, and what is going on there. One interesting thing that just came out is with Sotheby's. So, interesting thing with Sotheby's is that, they've been around for a long time. They've been established in 1744. It's an auction house, the world's largest auction house. And the interesting thing is with them is now they are accepting crypto as a form of payment. They've started this pretty recently, but just the other day, this has come to the attention of many people because they are auctioning off a 101 carat flawless diamond, which is expected to be worth about $15 million. And the interesting thing here is that this could be one of the largest cryptocurrency transactions at their auction ever. And you got to remember, people who own a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of Ethereum, these whale accounts, $15 million is not going to be anything for them. So they say that, look, this is a truly symbolic moment. The most ancient and emblematic denominator of value can now, for the first time, be purchased using humans' newest universal currency. So they're saying diamonds have been valued for a long time. Now you can buy that with crypto. And this is just something that is very interesting, because we're seeing a company that has been around for over 250 years. We're seeing these people say, look, you know what? Crypto may be new, but they believe it's here to stay. They're going to continue to innovate in that area and accepting it, and they don't want people to miss out on an opportunity to buy something they want by them simply not accepting a certain crypto. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But seeing Sotheby's accept crypto and accept Bitcoin is like, look, now we're seeing companies that may have been against Bitcoin for years in the past to finally say, okay, we give up. It's about time that we start accepting Bitcoin, start accepting crypto, because people want to pay with it. We've seen GM come out recently and say that if customers and their consumers want to spend crypto, well, then they're going to make it possible. Because the thing is you don't want to lose business because someone wants to pay with a different currency. It's like if someone wants to pay with cash, but you say you don't have any change and you only accept credit and debit cards, it's like you don't want to lose that business because it's so easy. Just keep cash. It's like if people want to pay with credit or debit card and you don't accept it, it's like it's so easy. You shouldn't want to lose business just because of a way people with a method people want to pay money with. I don't know if you guys have seen this story, but it's with Facebook's head of Facebook Financial. His name is David Marcus, and he came out recently. He talked about Bitcoin mining, saying how the crackdown on Bitcoin mining is great for the development of Bitcoin. We talked about this previously, but I feel like a lot of people have not been mentioning it, and that's what's going on with David Marcus. So David Marcus is the head of Facebook Financial, F2. He is head of Facebook's Diem and formerly Libra project for digital currencies. And he said, look, how is more Bitcoin mining power moving to the US, moving away from China, a bad thing? In his opinion, China cracking down on Bitcoin mining is a great development for Bitcoin. It's going to allow Bitcoin to move to countries with not as much regulation, not as much control over companies and organizations. It's also going to force companies that mine Bitcoin to look for more energy efficient areas, more energy efficient processes to get to mine Bitcoin. Because right now, like China, there's a lot of places where energy isn't as expensive. Inner Mongolia wasn't as expensive, but now what they're seeing is that, look, by people being kicked out of China, Bitcoin miners being kicked out of China, they're going to be able to look for new areas around the world that are more efficient, can make them more of a profit, and are just going to be better for crypto long term. But that's what's really going on. That's what's really going on with crypto. Let me know in the comments what you guys are invested in. Like, what's your favorite crypto? Also, if we can, let's see if we can get this up to 150 likes. It would help me out a lot. I really appreciate that. If we can, I'll stay on a bit longer. If not, we might head off to this live stream. A little bit slower of a live stream today. But put in the chat your favorite crypto right now. Me personally, the ones that I am invested in is going to be with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, Solana, Polygon, and then also like Dogecoin for fun. But my favorite ones are like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Polygon, Polkadot, Solana, and like EOS. Those are my favorite ones right now. But yeah, that's really all that's going on. I think we're going to head out for now, but I hope you guys have a great day, great rest of the day. I'll be going live a little bit later, so make sure to tune in for that. I'll set out a notification beforehand. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys